Rees v. Met Police, Misfeasance, Malice, and the Daniel Morgan cover-up. UK Criminal Law Explained. Welcome back to the Legal Podcast, where we expose injustice and break down real UK case law. Today's episode, a 2017 High Court ruling that shattered what was left of public trust in the Metropolitan Police's handling of the Daniel Morgan murder investigation. This is the case of Rees Others v. Commissioner of Police for the Metropolis, a legal masterclass in malicious prosecution, misfeasance in public office, and the systemic failure of UK policing to respect due process. Stay tuned, because what we uncover here could change how you view criminal justice in Britain. Background: Daniel Morgan was brutally murdered in 1987, his skull split with an axe in a pub car park in Sydenham. His business partner, Jonathan Rees, along with others, including two brothers and a former police officer, were long suspected of involvement. Yet despite multiple investigations, no one was ever convicted. But fast forward to the 2000s, enter DCS David Cook, a senior Met officer determined to finally get a conviction. And that's where the misconduct began. The claimants. The claimants were Jonathan Rees, a private investigator; Glenn and Gary Vian, brothers linked to organized crime; Sidney Fillery, a former detective and Rees's friend who replaced Morgan in their firm after the murder. Each of them claimed they were wrongfully prosecuted by the Met, either out of malice or reckless disregard for their rights. Gary Eaton's role, but the real twist came with a witness named Gary Eaton. He was unstable, diagnosed with a personality disorder, a man with a history of dishonesty. And yet, he became the key witness for the police. What did DCS Cook do? He breached every rule of integrity. He bypassed the sterile corridor process designed to protect evidence from contamination. He called Eaton, texted him, possibly coached him, then failed to disclose it to the CPS. That conduct, the court said, may well have amounted to perverting the course of justice. Malicious prosecution. Let's define this in law. Malicious prosecution requires 5 things. 1, the defendant prosecuted you. 2, the prosecution ended in your favor. 3, there was no reasonable and probable cause. 4, the prosecution was malicious. 5, you suffered damage. Did the claimant succeed? No, because the judge ruled that the CPS, not the police, made the charging decisions. So while the police may have manipulated the evidence, they weren't the ones who pulled the legal trigger. Misfeasance in public office. Host. But what about misfeasance in public office? This is where things turned. The judge, Mr. Justice Mitting, said that DCS Cook's conduct met the test. He acted unlawfully. He knew what he was doing, and he did it in his official role. And it's a big but, only one of the claimants, Sidney Fillery, actually won. Why? Because the others likely would have been prosecuted even without Eaton's evidence. Fillery, on the other hand, had no case to answer without Eaton, so Cook's actions directly caused his prosecution. Judgment summary. The final ruling. All 4 claimants failed in their malicious prosecution claims. Only Fillery succeeded in misfeasance in public office. Cook's conduct was described as unlawful and possibly criminal, yet the police force, not a single officer disciplined, the institution untouched. Wider implications. This wasn't just about one detective, this was about institutional rot. If a senior officer can manipulate a witness, bypass CPS safeguards, and mislead the court without consequence, what does that say about accountability? This case is a textbook example of why police misconduct and abusive process must be litigated fearlessly and publicly. Closing thoughts. The lesson here, whether you're facing prosecution or filing your own claim, know the law, know the boundaries of police power, and know your rights. This case teaches us how the system bends when unchecked, and why it must be held to account by disabled, marginalized, and falsely accused individuals alike. Call to action. Like, share, and subscribe for real legal truth. Help us fight injustice. Join the community. Leave a comment. Should Cook have faced criminal charges? Was justice truly served? Links to the full judgment, legal definitions, and Equality Act guidance are in the description. Until next time, stay informed, stay empowered.